Okay, so first of all, just tell me a little bit about the link between 3G football pitches and cancer based on the research that you've done.
Okay, I first noticed it an article by the Sun where Nigel Maguire, who was an NHS chief, ex-NHS chief of Cambria, he unfortunately lost his son to leukemia. Now, he had gone through chemotherapy, I think, around 4 times, and each time, unfortunately, he relapsed. But when, of course, he got better after the chemotherapy, he was, of course, going back to playing on the pitches. He was a Leeds Academy player. I think he was a trialist, and then he got into the academy. He basically kept on going back to play on them, relapsing, going back, and then, of course, him, along with his father, made the link themselves, looked into it, did more research, and then, of course, came across Amy Griffin, World Cup winner, goalkeeper coach in America, who also identified a link in around 2009 to 3G goalkeepers, 3G players, but mainly goalkeepers coming down with, or being diagnosed, with lymphoma cancer and leukemia cancers, amongst other cancers too. Some have been lung cancers, but the vast majority of cases are lymphoma cancers, and it's 60% of goalkeepers. 60% of those are goalkeepers. With goalkeepers being a minority on 3G sports pitches, for me that's that there is a clear link there between goalkeepers, the risk in goalkeepers. And don't forget, there's other sports as well, which of course rugby, I'm sure is now actually can be played on 3G as well. So it's that contact with the ground. Will used to come home with cuts, grazes, everywhere on his body as a goalkeeper. I actually remember a point at which we were taking, a rubber granule out of, trying to get it out of one of his grazes. And that for me is directly into the blood. Now, no research has been done whatsoever into these getting into cuts and grazes, the pellets getting into the cuts and grazes, or ingestion. There's been no research whatsoever. That's initially how I found that link. And then, of course, Nigel Maguire's research, of course, led me then to Amy Griffin in America, who's, both these people are now actively campaigning themselves for the change in regulations to 3G pitches. That's where I first made the link.
And this has obviously affected you and it's affected your family. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's pure turmoil. Obviously, for around, it was a short course of chemotherapy which Will needed. He was diagnosed, but like we said, back in November, he needed a 6-week intensive course of chemotherapy, which was successful, and he's now in remission. It's you always have that question in your mind while you're going through the fight. Wonder what caused this, but you're too busy with the actual fight of actually, beating the cancer, getting everything that you need to do, and the support that you need to give that person as well while they're going through that. The body changes in various ways. They put them on steroids to enable things like growth, which unfortunately affect mood swings, things like that. William would never have. I've never seen William have a mood swing, and then, of course, during the chemotherapy, his actual state of mind and mood begins to change. It's just pure turmoil. But you need to stay strong, and you do stay strong. But for your child, you naturally stay strong, and and that is your main fight. Now in remission, of course, and the realization that something could have caused this cancer, which can be prevented, it's difficult to take, but and that's my fight now, is the 3G regulators and the people that are bringing these 3G sports pitches, to children's use.
And you're now going on this campaign, as you say, to raise awareness about the potential damage that these 3G pitches are causing. What is your sort of overall purpose, and what are you wanting to achieve by this campaign?
the FA have documented on their own webpage, it was a document aimed at their stakeholders with frequently asked questions surrounding the concerns to use of 3G. Now, in that document, it clearly states that they know that PAHs, which are polyaromatic hydrocarbons, are prevalent in the pitches. That they are there, but they're so low quantity that it can't be a risk to human health. And unfortunately, the ECHA regulators in Europe, they back that up in saying they couldn't find a link.
You're going on this campaign now to try and raise awareness of the potential damages that these 3G pitches are causing. What is it that you would like to achieve, and ultimately what is your aim with this campaign?
Like I said, the aim for me here is for changes in the awareness of parents and other players in playing on the 3G pitches. I'd say 80% of the parents that I've spoken to surrounding this are completely unaware of the fact that their kids are playing on these shredded X car tires. And what they contain. They do contain those chemicals. I just want to heighten awareness to other parents. I've had the question from a lot of parents, what can I do? My club uses 3G sports pitches. Okay, well, take this back to your club and tell them that the FA, acknowledge the fact that these PAHs and black carbon is within these pitches. Speak to them about it and ask them, what they feel about it. I know that certain officials, and coaches, it's sort of been trickled down that, FA pitches are clean, it's non-FA pitches that aren't clean. But, then why would the FA be, releasing documents aimed towards their stakeholders, confirming the fact that these PAHs and black carbon is present? It is a complete lack of awareness. I'd say the other 20% may be aware. You sort of got, you do have 20% that are aware, but, they're taking as gospel the fact that, they're low dose, but they're still there, and until you've been through something like this and done the research yourself and you find out the information and, you put that link together, it's, it really is horrible to know that these kids are playing on these surfaces. And I would love parents to speak to their clubs about it, urge their clubs not to use 3G pitches, and if that isn't possible, then you can always find a new club that doesn't use 3G pitches. It's like I've said no to 3G,